Hello, today we are watching Casablanca. This is a movie that I think a lot of people know of, but less people have actually seen. I've actually sat through the whole thing and it's as incredible as everyone says. And I think what's interesting is about like when it was first made, it was so close to the time period that it's set in, but now we watch it as a period piece. And I think it still holds up after all of that time. So good old Humphrey Bogart, and I think it's more interesting if you know the setting at the time, so you have to just know a little bit of backstory, which is kind of the French resistance against the Nazis and how everybody was escaping to North Africa, and there was kind of this people trying to escape the Nazis, trying to get out any way they could, and just the waypoints and the bureaucracy and all of that. But I think what I'd like to do today is show you the first 10 minutes and just comment on the screenwriting as always, and how even in the first 10 minutes, it really reveals a lot of the character. In your screenplay, it's very important that you get us locked in on at least one character within that first 10 minutes. Have us care about that character, have us intrigued about that character, have us feel like it's a real person, let us in on their vulnerability or their trauma or their wound or their goals or their dreams. Give us as much of that as you can. If you give all of that, we are going to be 100% hooked.
Lisbon became the great embarkation point, but not everybody could get to Lisbon directly. And so a tortuous, roundabout refugee trail sprang up. Paris to Marseille. Across the Mediterranean to Oran. Then by train or auto or foot across the rim of Africa to Casablanca in French Morocco. Here the fortunate ones, through money or influence or luck, might obtain exit visas and scurry to Lisbon. The others wait in Casablanca and wait and wait.
So this is the equivalent of a voiceover. I think it's okay because the information that I was telling you about the time period, just so you understand what's at stake here. If you didn't know it, it would be important to know so that you're realizing the stakes of what's going on. And they made it kind of like a news programming thing, which you would have seen at the beginning of movies that people were very accustomed to seeing, this quick kind of news of the world situation. So I think in equivalent, we would have our character turn on the TV and you would hear the newscaster say it. I would say not such a great thing. Is there some visual way to show us? So they were showing a little bit about people migrating, a little bit with the map. Is there some way to do it more simply?
2 German couriers carrying important official documents murdered on train from Oran. Murderer and possible accomplices headed for Casablanca.
Movie with Brad Pitt, Marion Cotillard, Allah.
May we see your papers?
Which is also...
I don't think I have them on me.
In that case, we'll have to ask you to come along.
Wait, it's possible that, yes. Here we are.
These papers expired 3 weeks ago. You'll have to come along.
Halt! Halt!
Usual Suspects, 1940.
What's going on there?
I don't know, my dear.
Pardon, monsieur, pardon, madame. Have you not heard?
We hear very little, and we understand even less.
2 German couriers were found murdered in the desert, the unoccupied desert. This is the customary roundup of refugees, liberals, and, of course, a beautiful young girl for Monsieur Renaud, the prefect of police.
Perhaps tomorrow we'll be on the plane.
Already we sense kind of the desperation, the fear, and the hopefulness of the people who are stuck in Casablanca. It's not just a faceless place, these are the faces. People who've just arrived. Oh, it's a curious place, vacation.
Allez,
It is very good to see you again, Major Stasser.
Thank you. Thank you.
May I present Captain Renault, Police Prefect of Casablanca, Major Stasser.
Unoccupied France welcomes you to Casablanca.
Thank you, Captain. It's very good to be here.
Major Strasser, my aide, Lieutenant Cassell.
Captain Tonelli, the Italian staff is at your
Very
command,
kind
Major.
of you.
Abbiamo grande piacere della sua presenza, signor Maggiore. Il nostro comando è sempre pronto di servire.
You may find the climate of Casablanca a trifle warm, Major.
Oh, we Germans must get used to all climates, from Russia to the Sahara. But perhaps you were not referring to the weather.
What else, my dear Major?
Why, there be the murder of the couriers. What has been done?
Well, realizing the importance of the case, my men are rounding up twice the usual number of suspects.
We know already who the murderer is.
Good. Is he in custody?
Oh, there's no hurry.
It's a secondary movie, twice the usual suspects. I like this dialogue. It's very pitter-patter of the time, and I think it's probably very influential to Quentin Tarantino's dialogue and also Aaron Sorkin. So I call it the pitter-patter, where it's kind of they say something, they say something, they say something, some other person chimes in. It's very musical. I prefer it. And they're moving. It's very Sorkin-esque here. You could see where his influence is coming
Tonight
from.
he'll be at Rick's. Everybody comes to Rick's.
I have already heard about this cafe and also about Mr. Rick himself.
So already, what do I always say? If someone's talking about you and you're not even there yet, it's generating intrigue, generating interest. We want to know who's the person who runs this famous cafe that he seems elusive in his person. Head Commandant shows up. He's like, ooh, what about this Rick guy? I wish there were still supper clubs, right? Can someone bring back supper clubs? You could go have a drink, dance.
I love you. Waiting. I'll never get out of here. I'll die in Casablanca.
But can't you make it just a little more, please?
Sorry, madame, but diamonds are a drug on the market. Everybody sells diamonds. There are diamonds everywhere. 2,400.
All right.
The trucks are ready. The men are waiting. Everything is...
gar nicht. Wir sollten eine viel stärkere Hand haben hier in Casablanca.
It's the fishing smack Santiago. It leaves at 1 tomorrow night. Here from the end of La Medina. Third boat.
Thank you.
And bring the 15,000 francs in cash. Remember, in cash.
So we're getting, this is like where all the deals go down. Again, the hopeful and the hopeless intermixing.
Waiter,
Yes, madame.
will you ask Rick if he'll have a drink with us?
Madame, he never drinks with customers. Never. I have never seen it.
What makes Salon Keeper so snobbish?
Perhaps if you told him I ran the second largest banking house in Amsterdam.
The second largest? That wouldn't impress Rick. The leading banker in Amsterdam is now the pastry chef in our kitchen.
We have something to look forward to.
Giving you a lot of ambiance, a lot of flavor for the place. There he is.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, sir. This is a private room.
You know, Rick, watching you just now with the Deutsche Bank, one would think you've been doing this all your life.
What makes you think I haven't?
Oh, nothing. But when you first came to Casablanca...
Here's a little fun fact. I believe this is Peter Lorre. In the movie Aladdin, with the genie, when he says, I can't bring people back from the dead, Robin Williams is actually imitating Peter Lorre in his style and his accent. So, fun fact. That's what I like to give you here.
You are a very cynical person, Rick. If you forgive me for saying so.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Will you have a drink with me, please?
No.
Oh, I forgot you never drink with any... I'll have another, please. Yes, miss. You despise me, don't you?
Hell, if I gave you any thought, I probably would.
But why? Oh, you object to the kind of business I do, huh? But think of all those poor refugees who must rot in this place if I didn't help them. Well, that's not so bad. Through ways of my own, I provide them with exit visas.
For a price, Ugarte. For a price.
Well, Rick, after tonight, I'll be through with the whole business, and I'm leaving, finally, this Casablanca. Look, Rick. You know what this is? Something that even you have never seen. Letters of transit signed by General Wegon. Cannot be rescinded, not even questioned. One moment. Tonight I'll be selling those for more money than even I have ever dreamed of. And then, adio, Casablanca. You know, Rick, I had many a friend in Casablanca, but somehow, just because you despise me, you are the only one I trust. Will you keep these for me, please?
For how long?
So I've gone on a little bit more than 10 minutes because I really wanted to show this exact part here. What we're doing is we're setting up the whole plot. And again, don't confuse plot with story. When first starting to screenwrite, you kind of think, what's the difference? Plot is what happens, and story is I'm telling you what happens. They're two very different things. Plot is the map. Story is what you did on vacation. So I can tell you I went to Sicily, and then I went to Italy, and then I went to France. That's the plot, right? You follow along. If I say, well, first, we got flim-flammed at the first place, and then we had this fabulous day at the beach, and then we ate the most exquisite food, that's the story. So keep that in mind when you're writing a screenplay, that if we're just jumping from thing to thing to thing, it's going to feel too much like you're just describing your vacation as, well, I went to Sicily, then I went to Italy, and then I went to France. Boring. People want the story. People want the emotion within the story. Don't just say, oh, we had this wonderful meal and we got flim-flammed on the first day and we had a great day at the pool. Okay, that is basic story details. Make us taste that food. Make us feel the anger of getting, flim-flammed, and make us feel the relaxation or the cooling of being in that pool. That's the higher level screenwriting. So here they're setting up that people get stuck in Casablanca forever. Everyone's trying whatever way they can survive or to get out. They're always rounding up these usual suspects for every little thing. You have the Vichy government, you have the Germans coming, lots of stuff going on. You have super rich, wealthy people who are just evened out with the common person. And here's this guy who's been kind of swindling people, sort of, but also just taking advantage of the situation, depends how you look at it. And he has these letters of transit. Two people, won't be questions at all, carte blanche, as they say. He's going to leave it with Rick because he's so trustworthy. So here's a bar owner in the middle of Casablanca, which is just this place of 1,000 deals being made for refugees. This guy is trustworthy. So he has the most valuable thing in the world, and he's going to hand it to Rick. And Rick has a very set protocol such that he determines who gets into the bar. He doesn't drink with customers. We have all of these kind of rules that he follows that everyone around knows. And the ones who don't are the ones who say, oh, well, why won't he have a drink? And, you should let me into your bar. We see who are the newcomers and how he sticks to this moral compass. So the question is his cynical moral compass working for him? Or through this film, through this journey, is he going to learn a better way of being, a happier? Is he happy like this? Could he be a better, happy version of himself? Or is he unhappy and he could be happy? And that's what we're gonna see. I think it's completely clear in the first 10 minutes. The setting, the world that we're living in, the dangers, it seems like people can almost be caught on the street at any moment and scooped up, kind of all the underbelly going on, and these transit papers, a little bit of a MacGuffin. And what they haven't introduced yet, though, is the love interest, which we know from all the movie posters, and if it's a spoiler alert, well, you're about 60 years too late. That is kind of the complication. That's more getting into the story. That's making you taste that wonderful meal. That's making you feel that cool water of the pool. So when you're writing, make sure, start with the plot. We want to, have a car chase and it gets us from here to here to here and end up here. Great. And the reason we're on this car chase is because he has the diamond bracelet that she wants, that this guy wants, and the reason he's going in this direction is for this. Okay, great. And now get us feel the desperation. He needs this bracelet because if he doesn't get it to the people who are holding his daughter hostage, she will be killed or tortured first and then killed, and also he will be killed as well. Now we're emotionally invested in the scene. Okay, so they're setting up this emotional current in this where nobody's getting out. It's a desperate situation. Everybody's stuck there. Everybody wants to get out. It's scary. It's kind of like on the fringe of war. It's a scary place that people do not want to rest in. And a lot of these people are used to just, getting their way, being wealthy, and that's all disappearing. That's a very destabilizing feeling. So even if we're not rich, we get that understanding of what it would be like to be completely plucked from your normal environment. I will leave it there, and of course you should watch Casablanca, but you should really sit and watch it, because so many people refer, play it again, Sam, and we'll always have Paris, like all the quotes, but you don't know what it means, and then once you watch the movie you know what it means, and then it's like it means something more, and I tell you, you're gonna love it. So enjoy, and I will see you next time. Bye.